Hello, I'm Benjamin Miss, and this is part of the personality segment, and this is called the updated marshmallow task. How personality and the environment and behavior are all connected, and we can see the direct influence in things. We start with what is the marshmallow task, right? So basically, let's say that you have your favorite candy right in front of you. Like, what's your favorite candy? Okay. Um, if I were to say you can have this candy now, or for me it would be like, peanut butter cups, right? Peanut butter and chocolate, anything. All right. You could have one now, or if you wait some unspecified amount of time, I'm going to give you two. Could you wait? Now, obviously, you have to consider, are you hungry right now? You could consider, well, I'm an adult. I only want one candy. But as a child, how do you think you would have done? It's your favorite candy. How would you have handled it? Well, there's this paper called Rational Snacking by Kid Palmieri and Aslan, and it's about young children and the marshmallow task and how it can be moderated, basically, how you can influence a child's behavior on this. So, we start with the idea of the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment, also called the Marshmallow Experiment or the Marshmallow Task. And this is Walter Mischel. And he was working with some other cultures, and he had his kids there. And so he was really integrated. And what he was hearing was from both of these groups, like there were these two cultures there that didn't really like each other. And they both believed that the other group couldn't delay gratification. They were very impulsive. And so he said, this is interesting. Can we measure this? And he also noticed, and this is interesting too, and this is all going to tie together, people in poverty have a harder time delaying gratification. And then there's the whole, well, what's this about? Why can't they just behave differently? Why can't they save money and invest? There's a lot of really interesting moving parts here, right, that we want to consider about the influence on how people develop this. We know, the benefit of it. So when Mischel did his task, the kid would come into a room, they'd put down the marshmallow, and then there'd be like a 15-minute wait time. The adult would say, okay, I'll come back. And the kid would be, well, would just wait. It looks like if they thought about fun things or played with a toy, they did a lot better. If they just sat there looking at the marshmallow, they did terribly. So the issue was, okay, how do you distract yourself? How do you understand the value of distracting yourself and delayed gratification? You do the same thing as an adult. You have assignments to do, right? And you're like, okay, well, I want to go out with my friends. I want to play this game. I want to watch videos, whatever it is. And you don't. You focus on the material and what you have to do. So what is it that's allowing you to do that? Well, later on, since Mischel had kids in the school, he started to hear about how the other kids were doing. And he was like, oh, I remember that kid from the study. Oh, I remember that kid from the study. And he ended up doing another study, and he found that after 10 years, the kids who were successful on the task rated higher on all these things: academic competence, social competence, verbal fluency, rational thinking, attentiveness and playfulness, and their ability to deal with frustration. In fact, he saw that the success on the task was a better predictor of long-term success than IQ. The ability to delay gratification is a better predictor than intelligence of long-term success. And certainly, intelligent people who just can't wait. They can't, delay. They're impulsive. And people who are maybe less intelligent but very successful because they're more forward thinking. They understand investing, how all these things work together. So let's go back to that idea of, okay, children in poverty have a harder time delaying for gratification. Well, what influences a child's ability to delay gratification? Why is it important? We know why it's important. So let's look at the first question. What influences a child's ability to delay gratification? Well, this gets us back to the paper I was talking about, right? Celeste Kidd was working at a youth shelter while she was in her graduate school, and she observed a young girl was handed a lollipop, and this bigger kid ran over, grabbed the lollipop, ate it, and ran away. And the little girl showed no response. Now, this was shocking, and you observe children in youth shelters, and you see rather odd behavior. And now Dr. Kidd was looking at this and wondering, like, what's going on, right? Why are these kids generally unable to delay gratification? And why is it like, okay, here's an item, it has to be consumed? Why is this child used to disappointment, used to losing what she had in such a way that it doesn't affect her? Here's an exciting candy, some kid takes it, and it's like a little girl who's freaking resigned to disappointment. All right. So then why? Why do these kids have no ability to delay gratification, and what influenced this? And this goes back to that whole idea of this is not uncommon, right? For kids to have, these kinds of issues in this case. So they designed a study with kids who were 3 years, 6 months to 5 years, 10 months, and the children were given a task to create their own cup using crayons. They were told by an adult they could use their, like, here's some worn out crayons, like all nubby, all old and tore up. Or I'm going to go look for some new crayons, and if I can find some, I'll bring them to you. All the kids waited. All 28 kids waited. The adult came back and said, sorry, we don't have any new crayons. You're going to have to use these old crummy ones. All right. Or the adult came back with the new crayons. Those were the two conditions. So in some cases, the adult, followed through. And in some cases, they still looked, but they couldn't do it. Then the second part was, now we're going to use a sticker to decorate the cups. We're going to use stickers. I only have this one crummy small sticker right now, or I can go look for some new stickers, and I might have a whole bunch of nice new sheet of stickers or whatever. Once again, all the kids waited, and the same kids who got the new crayons, also the adult came back and said, hey, I found some new stickers. The same kids that got the old crayons and were told sorry had the same experience with the stickers. Then all the kids were given the marshmallow task. How do you think they did? This isn't surprising at all. This isn't meant to be a trick question. It's exactly what you thought would happen. The children in the reliable condition, these are the bars, the white bars on the right, the children in the reliable condition, most of them waited. Okay. In fact, 9 out of the 14 kids in the reliable condition waited. In the unreliable condition, only 1 out of the 14 kids. I want to study that kid. Like, why? How is that kid able to wait? And the time, a lot of these kids waited the full time. The average for the reliable condition was 12 minutes. For the unreliable, it was 3 before they ate the marshmallow, right? So after either having a reliable or an unreliable adult, they then did the marshmallow task. And it is not surprising that having seen the reliable adult, they were successful on the marshmallow task. So there's something about this, and it says, all right, what kind of experience is this? It may be true that some children have a natural ability to delay gratification, but children who have reliable adults in their lives may find it easier to delay gratification because they see the value of it. A parent says, or an adult says, I'm going to do this. We're going to go here tomorrow. We're going to do this. And the adult is able to do this with these reliable adults. With unreliable adults, there's promises that are broken, and the child learns, why bother? Or they observe the adult not delaying gratification themselves. And there's a whole, this is much getting into like sociology and kind of like the studying the structure of culture, but there is a whole kind of mindset difference in kind of a poverty where things aren't guaranteed. You can't count on the future. You can't trust, that saving today is going to have a benefit. Therefore, you might as well spend, you might as well use what you have. And it goes beyond, any kind of individual differences to an entire, outside influences on our behavior. So we can absolutely see this long-term cycle, unreliability, leading to lack of delay of gratification, right? All right, so let's take a look at what we learned. Walter Mischel found that a child who can delay gratification at age 5 would score higher on what? IQ, academic competence, spatial ability, or height. Well, it's nothing to do with intelligence or growth. It's academic competence, though. In the unreliable condition, how many kids waited the full 15 minutes? Out of 14, how many? 1. In the reliable condition, How many waited the full 15 minutes? 9. This is one of my favorite recent studies because what it does is it takes a classic study, right, the Walter Mischel Stanford Marshmallow Experiment, and it explains what we've seen and what we've observed for such a long time. This is a great way to do research for you, for anybody who's interested in doing research. Looking at what we know and thinking about why and how can we investigate this more is a great way to continue. Thank you very much.